Yep. We're going down right now. We about to do it right now. John Henry Clark, only debate my equals.
John Henry Clark only debate my equals.
Anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
Yep. Well, some people just afraid, but we'll share it. We will share it. No problem. I have no problem with it. Yep. Yep, we get ready to get started. I'm just getting my notes together. How you doing? Peace to everybody, man. Yep. Yep, peace to everybody. We on YouTube as well. Yep, I'm on YouTube as well, Nova. No, I'll be going. I got to go back to Michigan. I got a speaking back in my home city. Then I scheduled to go to St. Louis. No, but Dantes, we on YouTube as well. If you could join us there as well, Noble. I just want to play this little insert of John Henry Clark real fast.
Not here to debate with anyone.
Like when I
I
say,
have devoted. I'm not
like
here.
when I got started, I've been in ministry a long time and in education a long time. But you know, when that conscious stuff came out, I used to get a lot of emails, but I don't do no debating. That's a lower spirit. I don't debate nothing that can be proven, and I operate on scholarship. If you ask a Muslim, they're going to come from a Muslim perspective. If you ask a Christian, they're going to come from a Christian perspective. If you ask a person that believe in Krishna, they're going to come from a Krishna perspective. So that's not my motive. As a historian, I try to show people the synchronicity of the teachings and have you look deeper. Because when people come with their religion, they try to give you a religious perspective. And I'm not Orthodox. It may be some Moors that's Orthodox. I'm not Orthodox. I'm a Sufi. I'm Tasawwuf. And I'm an educator. I give credit to Noble Drew Ali, but it's Moors before our prophet that taught wisdom and understanding. But I give credit and love to our prophet Noble Drew Ali, which you see him in the background. Let me play this little insert.
With anyone. I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
And that's what I try to tell people, man. Like, I'm not here to debate no one or try to have a pissing contest. I mean, we're going to do the history and the science. And if you say you an educator and you're doing scholarship, then it's only one scholarship. And when people say this is the oldest, I mean, we only regurgitate things that come from the written word. So that's what I want people to understand, where I don't get all caught up in religion. But as history and breaking things down historically, understanding nationality, understanding the Constitution, understanding 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, understanding real civics, not no sovereign citizen movement, not no Roger Elvick European militia crap, not no paradigm criminal stuff that these Moors be doing, none of that. We're not here to overthrow nothing. What I'm here to do is show you who you are in history and show you what they thought about the misnomer Negro, Black, and Color, and African American. That's synonymous to slave. And using that type of language, using those type of linguistics, shows that we're not educated people. It's just like when I talk to my Christian people, when I go to the Christian church, I say, just because you believe in Jesus Christ or Yahshua Messiah, I hope you don't give up your blackness per se. That should make you understand more. Because when you understand that, you start understanding nationality. And you start understanding the history of the Bible. If we're going to do it in that context. And if we do it in that context, you have to have prideful. You have to understand that your skin is not cursed. And you have to understand that the misnomer black man is the father of civilization, proved by the Bible alone. You have to understand that to have pride. And all scholars understand that. I don't care if they're a European Jew or whatever, or Protestant or nothing. Because I show this all through history. Show the name Judah, Wuda. I show this all through history. I even break down books that cross-reference what I'm saying. And I show videos to cross-reference what I'm saying. And I lead the way, just like I did in academia. There's nothing new under the sun. Like before I get into the teachings, all these books right here talk about what I'm talking about, you as a people, here in the Americas. Who were the Jews in Spain and all this stuff. All these ancient books. Like when somebody try to debunk something, they have to come with the scholarship. I don't care if they Eurocentric, Negrocentric, they have to come with the scholarship. And they can't. They can't. Eid in Sumer on the Niger or the Niger, origin of the Iranians, of Ireland, the so-called Hebrews, the Moors, and the Vedic Indies. I mean, they can't debunk the scholarship because the scholarship be right in their face because they read the scholarship. Look, let me give y'all some more scholarship before we get into the teachings. I'm just setting a precedent. The earth and its inhabitants, Africa, it's in this ancient document. I did all this in the college to show what it is. But we as a people, we have to teach our history. I mean, and it's written, because they read about it. They always written it down. The Jews of Spain and Portugal and the Inquisition, all these ancient documents, when people try to debunk something, tell them come with the records. They can't, because we got the records by the first century writers, 1877. So anytime they try to debunk anything, you're gonna have to sit on your hands. And I'm just setting the precedent before I even get into my main topic. Let me see, what's some others? Which one is this one? The history of the Jews. Which one is this? The history of the Jews from the destruction of Jerusalem to the present time by Hanan Adams. All this stuff will prove what I'm telling you. When I tell you Judah, Wuda had 3 different names, and even our brother quoted it in the Negro question. I broke that down a plethora of times. Research the compendium of entertaining knowledge. All in these pages, and these books and these inserts is going to highlight what I'm talking about, to show you all the history, to show you all the history, all the Negro question, volume 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I show you in scholarship, historically. When I tell people more science, I don't know what people think more science is. People think more science is that stuff they got off the conscious community and people debating a whole bunch of paper terrorists. That's not more science. More science is knowledge, order, rhythm, astrology, astronomy, and nature. Civics, law, history, that's just what it is. None of these people that be talking about these cases, they never won no real cases in court. Because what God, man, is going to be going to court? I don't break law. So all that stuff is fugazi. Because canceling corporate debt, what corporate debt do you have? What are you trying to go to the courts and get? This is what I ask everyone. What are you trying to go to court and get? All these TikTok videos, what are you trying to get to court and get? After all these treaties that's been broken, now what? See, it's still a waste of time. And you ask these people, where do they live? They live in the neighborhood. What kind of car do they drive? I hope they have operator's license. I hope they have insurance. I hope they paying their taxes on their houses, because if they wouldn't, their houses would be up for foreclosure. This is the cap when they say they don't pay no taxes and this. Okay, well, you don't live in the community and you must live off the grid. That's the only way. And if you have land and you own it, you still pay some type of land tax, so you can stop the cap again. How I know this? Because they don't own land. We do. That's how I know. That's why I be saying a lot of stuff, we just have to tell the truth, shame the devil, man. So, now let's get with a little history. I hope everybody go to my YouTube channel, because the last piece of wisdom I'm not going to be able to show on Facebook, because Facebook will shadow ban me. So I hope everybody go to my YouTube channel to get this whole speaking. I done this lecture at the college campus. I got plenty of donations. I told brothers and sisters to go buy this book before it went up to stacks. Let me see how much this book costs now on Amazon. I try to be light for people, but a lot of our brothers don't listen, and then they always say, well, things is hidden. And I say, ain't nothing hidden from you. How can something be hidden and I have it, and they study you to a T, and other students have the wisdom? That don't even make sense. Talk about something hidden. Ain't nothing hidden. Now the book costs $1,000. Now this book costs $1,284. Look, $1,284. $1,284. This book. I got books that cost $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. I converted to PDF and I converted to ebooks, and brothers still don't get them. And now I just don't offer them like that no more, because it's no reason. One of my elders was like, you've been offering these books to brothers and sisters, and they say they study, they want to know history, and you've been introduced to something, and you done found a way to gather and compile all these books, convert them to ebooks, and print and bind them, and our people still not jumping on it. And then you go to Amazon, and the books cost a grip. And that's why you don't have them, because they put them on there, and they let other people become millionaires, or they just keep the science to themselves. And we get caught up in propaganda, and Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. Because who's going to buy this book for $1,284? You see? And most of the other books I have cost stacks. When I be like, that ain't how it happened. When I show pieces of wisdom, and then brothers look it up on Amazon, and they be like, man, that cost $5,000. I be like, I be telling you this. But it be falling on deaf ears, because I say, it's the levels of understanding and wisdom. It's just what it is. So, let's talk about this era. Understanding the Jim Crow. Using racist memorabilia to teach tolerance and promote social justice. Just like cartoons back in the day. You know, like I'm from Florida, and people don't know about gator bait. People be thinking stuff is not real. And then people say, well, just forget about it. Forget about it, why? Just like, well, color don't matter no more. If color didn't matter, why we didn't tell the truth? Why we didn't tell the truth? If they Anglo-Saxon, then they have an Anglo-Saxon etymology dictionary, and they tell you what white mean and how white spelled. I keep telling people the trick bag is deep. But we can't talk about it. Yes, we can. I just want to get to some of the things to show you. Like, and these are some of the racist pictures and things that they showed of people of in their time. I'm gonna go through. Look at this. When I tell people all that slap happy stuff, you know, they call that the NI, you know, the nigger baby. The other ones is the nigger milk cartoon, which relatively common through the 1920s. These mammy objects are similar to the first one that the European purchased, you know. And then here it is. Each year, thousands of people visit the museum. It's the Jim Crow Museum, you know. No group has been caricatured as often in as many ways as have the African American. But when you see look who at the museums. Like, a lot of people don't even know these museums. I have the pleasure to go to these museums and lecture in these museums. When people say it don't matter. The 10 little nigger boys went out to dine. Just want to show you some things. When people be talking about history in a group, like I ain't never seen a group of people but want to be like this and do people a certain way. That's why I tell us brothers and sisters, Muslims, whatever, Christians, we out here acting like Crips and Bloods. Show how a hungry colored boy would go for roast chicken, go through the motions of a colored boy eating watermelon. These are cards from a 1972 picture party stunts, a 1930s parlor game. This was in the 1930s. These was game cards in the 30s. In the 30s. Let's see what the other one is. The Gold Dust Twin characters of Goldie and Dusty were the faces of gold dust washing products and became one of the earliest brand-driven trademarks in American advertising. You know? No niggas, no Jews, no dogs. All this history. But they'll say, we don't want to talk to you. Yes, we should. We should talk about history. Yes, we should. Top with a license plate from the 1960s mocking Lyndon B. Johnson's presidential campaign slogan, "All the Way" by LBJ. Bottom, this is one of the many segregation signs that were common during the Jim Crow era. No Negroes, no Jews, no dogs. 2000 is also the name of a play by John Henry Redwood set in Halifax, North Carolina in the late 1940s. It dramatizes the victimization of an African American family. What ain't no other group of people done this to nobody. Many early 1900 games that use black Americans as targets. Look, here you go. And y'all don't be seeing this stuff that be depicted in movies and people videos. You be like, wait a minute, I've seen this before. Yeah, I know. White men, 2, get out, rip rap, rocket breakers, 45 cents per hour. This is a paper sign that was used in the 1920s to advertise for rock breakers. Rip rap is rock or other material used to armor shoreline structures against water or ice erosion. That's why I said some truths are painful. Watch this. Angry is a necessary leg on many journeys, but it cannot be the destination. You heard what I said. It's okay to be angry, but when anger comes wisdom and understanding. We don't get the power to try to step on someone's neck. It's to bring us up and to show us what we need to do. But many anger reach its apex when I read the Turner Diaries, written by William L. Pierce, using the pen name Andrew McDonald. Remember I told you, and then I'm going to do a whole lecture on pen names, aka pseudonyms. How a lot of these writers in first century, they wrote in their pen name or their pseudonym because they'd be killed. Because they was going against the church. I'm telling you. The book chronicles the heroism of white supremacists who overthrew the federal government, won a bloody race war, and established a social order where whites ruled. And that's what's going on right now. People don't understand this fake race war thing that people think is in their head. That's something that's really, it's totally oblivious to what people know. We shouldn't be falling for that. Black, other minorities, and the whites who supported them are brutally, graphically killed. This book, arguably the most racist book produced in the second half of the century, has influenced numerous racist organizations, including the Order of the Aryan Republican Army. Timothy McVeigh, convicted of 95 bombing of the federal building in Oklahoma. He was a fan of the book, and his bombing was similar to the bombing described in the Turner Diaries. You know, it was a European, Pierce, had a PhD in physics from the University of Colorado, and he was bonded with the Nazis in 1960s. That explained why he wrote the book, but why did it anger a lot of people in different fields? Why? After all, a basement full of racist memorabilia. You know, we should see this. But watch this. In the 1920s postcard is a variant of an 1896 print. You know, alligator bait. These was postcards. These was postcards. You see, this is the history that we need to know when we say, when we talk about we don't need to know. Yes, we do. They talk about Hitler. Hell, they don't talk about Mussolini. They talk about Uncle Tom. Well, look at Sambo. Look. People talk to, oh, you Uncle Tom. You don't even know what an Uncle Tom is. This postmarked 1907, typifies the Sambo portrayal, lazy, irresponsible, and childlike. You know, the shucking and jiving Negroes that you see today. That just shucking and jiving and just want to show their teeth and laugh and always talk about they playing. I almost call it the Kingfish, you know, the Amos and Andy Masons. The Dark Target book has no date. The Bull's Eye by himself. It's all other. Hateful memorabilia. And I just want to show some things. Because I don't want to highlight all, I just want to show some things. The museum draws people from all walks of life, including Henry Rollins, host of 10 Things You Didn't Know About, Professor Henry Louis Gates Jr., the famed historian. Y'all know who Henry Louis Gates? I haven't been here. That's why I be telling people, I said, we can't stay in one part of history. History is abroad. And then when I can show you Europeans in white and blackface. Watch, this 1904 postcard is from Raphael Tuck and Sons series, Coon Studies. Below, made in 1850, this plate from England is one of the oldest pieces in the museum. Look. But then I'm finna show you the European in blackface. Understanding Jim Crow, like they wrote songs. These words are from a song, Jim Crow, as it appeared in the sheet music written by Thomas Dartmouth. Daddy Rice, a struggling actor. He did short solo skits between play scenes at the Park Theater in New York. Happened upon a black person singing in the buzz song. Some accounts say it was an old black slave who walked with difficulty. Others say it was a raggedy black stable boy, but blah, 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 blah. This is how they, bam. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is history. We could talk about it, and they put on blackface. And they have stage plays. But people say, we can't share this. Why? Why? Why we can't? Pictures of a small town minstrel show, 1947. In the early 1900s, the Emstein Cosmetic Company of New York was one of the nation's leading manufacturers of theatrical makeup and grease paints. Look at all these. I'm gonna show you the pictures, then I'm gonna read what they are. Look at this. So let's see what it says. The left. This minstrel joke book was published in 1910 by Weeman Brothers in New York, and above, as recent as 1960, blackface minstrel shows were performed in churches, convention centers, high school, and on college campuses. When I be telling people, the Ku Klux Klan was Christians, the Aryans Christian, they all Christians. All of them that. So even, hell, Hitler, some of Hitler regime was Islam Muslims. That's why I be saying, like, religion, I ain't finna get in arguing with nobody religion. When you will kill somebody, I'm good with all that. I understand who I am. I have the right. That's why I'm American. I ain't arguing with nobody else of their dogmatic perspective. I don't care about none of that. I understand the triple roles. I'm Tassa Woof. I don't understand nothing outside of myself. But if you rock with, I don't have no argue with you. I mean, all these. Watch, let me show y'all all this little stuff when they talk about I Am Afraid of the Dark. This postcard was of Denmark comic series, Black Kids, made in London, circa 1907 and 1915. I Am Afraid of the Dark. I mean, it was so much. It was so much. Watch me show you some cars. Left, Jim Crow Jubilee sheet music, 1847. And right is a postcard from 1911. And this 1890 card is a popular cultural expression of the 19th century theories that claim that Negroes will die out. I mean, it's the stuff, it'd be right here. And it's written, this is for the record. I can't even show all the lynching stuff because I'll get blackballed. That's why once I get to the good parts, I'm gonna have to just be straight on YouTube, because social media is gonna block me. I mean, Facebook is gonna ban me. And they have postcards of this stuff. They have postcards of hanging. That's what I'm telling you. If I was able to show you would see this early as the 1900s, Negroes rounded up and shot. And then the bottom is the message on the back. The picture shows what they do to bad people of Delaware. I mean, I got the pictures of them and everything. Remember I told y'all the book, The Negro is a Beast, that the European, that a lot of them Protestant preachers be reading, like the Black Christian Code. This is what the book looked like. It's called The Negro is a Beast. That's why I said, I ain't here to disrespect no one. I'm here to tell you exactly what it is. His name was Charles Carroll. He wrote The Negro is a Beast, or In the Image of God. Carroll claimed that white people were made in the image and likeness of God, and that Adam gave birth to the white race only, while Negroes were soulless, ugly, pre-Adamite beasts. According to Carroll, race mixing spoiled God's racial plan of creation. Now you see, when we can't debunk that bull crap. I said, I can show you that the misnomer black man is the father of civilization, proved by the Bible alone. So just because these trailer dyke, no disrespect, say they have education, they can still put out false or Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda, and we as scholars and educators can't fact check that. Man, miss me with that crap, man. It was a reason why all this was done, and then hidden and put in your face like that. You have no Neanderthal DNA in your body, but some people do. In the Bible, the Creator never coached your skin black. Never. You were sun-kissed. You were sun-kissed. All through the biblical scriptures. So when they come with the crap, it can easily be debunked. But I just wanted to show you how they felt. I can show so many more pictures, but it'll take all day. Here go to another one of the books by David Pilgrim, Watermelons, Nooses, and Straight Razors. You know, that's another book. But I want to show, let me show some more of this stuff. When I say all this stuff is, how can I say, programmed They knew all this was going to happen. They knew Negroes was going to be like this. The five jolly darkies way down in old Virginia. All just slap happy stuff. Y'all know what slap happy mean? Just slap happy, like goofy stuff that got us on. We the only group of people that get on the internet and argue with each other over some religion. And I say, dude, do you speak Arabic? Do you speak Hebrew? So y'all is mistransliterating something, because if you have eyes to see, you will be looking right at yourself. You'll be like, man, I ain't even connect the science. My fault. But that's what we do. That's what most of us do. And they got us at a debating spirit. That's how they got us. I ask anybody with any sense of brains, were there 16 crucified saviors before Jesus Christ? Yeah. Okay, now what? That shouldn't even take a rocket science. A Duncan sister song, Topsy. Look how they did. Look, these are Europeans dressed up in blackface, making a mockery. This is what I tell people. It's like, man, no, this is what it was. Topsy was a song made popular by sisters Rosetta and Vivian Duncan, an American Vandeville duo. The sheet music is from 1924. I'm telling you, I can show y'all all types of stuff. You know? The dark preacher and how they have them preaching. When you preach like your overseer. I'm a master, and man, obey your master. That's how they have them preaching. They say you dress them just up like a Englishman. I'm trying to tell you. And they had an overseer. That's what the Protestants did. And they licensed you. And when Negroes got baptized by their overseer, they thought they could be free, thought they could take it to the courts, but you wasn't nothing but a baptized slave. Tell me I'm wrong. I know I'm telling the truth. Point blank. Always depict you as a butler and slap happy. Don't that look familiar? Look. I'm trying to tell you, man. Now let me show y'all something too. The Darkies Prayer, Florida. If all gets in the gator's mouth, I'll just be fit for burying. That's why I pray that he turns out to be a vegetarian. This is a postcard copyrighted 1951 by Tignor Brothers, where they showing the little baby trying to jump from not being eaten by the alligators. And everybody in Florida know what I'm talking about, and historians know what I'm talking about. Point blank, they know it, but they be looking all stupid because they act like you don't know. Man, I lecture this in academia. I'm gonna show you some more pictures. The narrative that black children are alligator bait is apparent in these postcards from early as the 1930s. Look, and now look at the detail of these pictures of these children. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the detail of what those young nobles look like. These was postcards. Watch this. I'm going to show y'all another postcard marked 1930. Listen what it says. I'm just as scared as I can be. I'm afraid the gator going to get me. Oh, mommy, come and get me soon, or you won't have no little coon. Look. Look. You see? These was postcards that they sent out. So that's why they always say, well, this don't matter, that don't matter, this don't matter. Yes, it do. Yes, it do. It all matters. You ain't just gonna bury nothing under the grave. This history, and you can see how far you come from and where we need to go to love ourselves. That's what this is about. Nigger, 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 all this stuff. Look, I'm telling you. This is what they thought about it. Slap happy. A mockery. Remember that lightening cream? Skin brightener, like this product made in 1946, were popular during the Jim Crow period in the United States. Today they are popular in many countries. You know how people don't like their skin because you've been fooled to act like your black skin is a curse, and nowhere in the biblical scriptures your black skin was a curse. Wasn't no curse of Ham, or no curse of Canaan. See, that's false. That's false. And your own preachers teach that crap. But in the biblical scriptures, someone's skin was cursed. What? Leprosy, white, and they children too. So we need to stop the cap. And if today, if Jesus would be identified as a misnomer black man today, Ruth the Moabitess, Tamar, all of them. Simon the nigger. Come on. John the Baptist, that was Jesus' cousin. On what side? His mom or daddy's okay? Then what we talking about? See? The 12 sons of who? Melanated. Come on, man. I don't care. You get your Bible map. You get your Bible, look at the 12 tribes. That's the continent of Africa. If anybody get on here and act like they don't know what I'm talking about, you lying. There ain't no truth in you. And that's the thing I don't respect is someone that'll stand in front of your face and act like they don't know what I'm saying is not true. Especially people that look like us. That's why we can't get nowhere. We assimilate and we don't have to. The religious laws tell us we don't have to assimilate. We got our religious rights just like everyone else have. Come on, man. When you identify the Negro, black, or color, African American, who want to identify to something like this? Who? Why? To slap happy. That's what I call it, slap happy. Bum stuff. No shoes on all that stuff. But you didn't grow up in no cave. You ain't grew up in no cave. You ain't put nobody behind here. This ain't no Fred Flintstones. See, these is facts. You have books, education, you read. History. These is facts. No one went to Europe to learn them. They came to the continent of Africa. Restole the Legacy by George G.M. James. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, man, Egypt. Anybody get on here, that's why the kids don't know nothing, because they get a Eurocentric, and then our professors, our people that look like us, give them a Negrocentric propaganda type of teaching. Because they done took the oath. And people know I'm telling the truth. You're going to always get a false sense of history. Don't y'all know Elijah Muhammad, they were Masons? That's why they knew most of them was Prince Hall Masons. Don't y'all know Farrakhan is a Prince Hall Mason? That's why I say a lot of Masons know a little something. They be knowing that what I be talking about, man. I'm from Flint, Michigan. Man, when I was getting my degree, I did a whole damn research study on the Nation of Islam. Got all the periodicals from Detroit News, all that stuff. So when people be acting like this not that and that not this, I say, okay, well, if that's not the one y'all call Fard Muhammad, that's not another, whatever you want to say. Because I had to do scholarship. One of my professors was back in those times. I said, okay, if y'all want to play like this ain't him, but all these other brothers that was in the nation that was with the prophet, all that, said that was him. And then I said, okay, if that's not him, let's blow the whole picture up. And who's the brother on him to the right? Ugan Ali. Okay, so if that's Ugan Ali, right, who is that brother? It's exactly who we say it is. So stop the cap. This is what I be telling people. I said we got to stop the cap. We got to stop that. And it's just what it is. But I want us to see these things in history to see how far we have to go. Because if this was done and we came from this and we still don't love each other and we still playing some religious game with each other, oh man, we got a long way to go. Here go the next one, watermelons, nooses, and straight razors. Because I want to jump around like House of Pain song. Look, the Jim Crow Museum staff continues to buy racist objects. This photograph was taken at the National Black Memorabilia Fine Arts Craft Show in 2014. Look. I'm telling you, man, it be right in your face. I hate to get up early in the morning. Sheet music words by John Queen. Music by Hugh Cannon, 1901. See, this is the stuff that you need to see how far we have to go. This postcard was originally distributed in 1897. 1897. Showing of the struggle, enslaving of black people, and continue with the Jim Crow racial persecution of black people. was supported by the stories told by scientists. These stories, sometimes tightly woven, sometimes loosely organized, taught Americans to know that black people are inferior and a threat to white people. In 1851, Samuel A. Cartwright, a physician, claimed to have discovered a new disease that afflicted enslaved black people. He called it drapetomania, in diseases and peculiarities of the Negro race. Cartwright claimed that the previously unknown mental illness had the diagnosis symptoms of absconding from service. In other words, black people who fled from slavery were mentally ill, in his words. Ain't that a bleep? I told y'all. And we let these people misdiagnose us, or you got this and you got this, and I said, dude, everything that you got is foodborne. You don't got diabetes because your mom and them, you got diabetes from bad eating habits. I'm telling you. I can go on and show you all the slap happy stuff. We got a long way to go. The person who sold this object used it as a dishcloth holder for rent to colored people. They had all these signs. Smoke the red signal. Watch this. This is a trade card from 1881. It's a stereotype card from 1895. Stereographs, also known as stereo views, were popular in the 19th century and used to nearly identical images seen through a handheld viewer to produce the illusion of 3 dimensions. I'm telling y'all better go jump over to my YouTube, because when I get to this last book, I gotta cut Facebook off. I'm telling you, it's gonna be powerful. Sheet music words by Jerry O. Halloran. Music by Martin Stacks, 1899. A characteristic wing dance to step. Look, always blackface. Always. That's why when I show you the Anglo-Saxon etymology dictionary and in their wisdom, I show you what white really mean. Look at the museum staff has been unable to obtain the information on this image when you got the European and Albion and Trinidad using a lady as a ride. This is real stuff. I can even show you other stuff where they're using the children like that. I'm telling you. Like, who wants to do that? Like that. Like, why would somebody want to sit on somebody like that? And see, only a troll to get on here and disrespect. That's why I say we gonna block all goofy stuff. The museum displays many versions of the lawn jockey, including the original one from the 1800s. Like, you were the jockeys on the horses. When they shipped Negroes to Nova Scotia, we created hockey. The museum has no information on these images. People be upset with history, but all my Anglo-Saxon professors agree with me. Every last one of them. That's why I be telling people. They say, what is the argument? If we can prove it, if it's scholarship, because I did this in academia. I've done this in academia. I can go on and on. Let me see what that said. Because I know it was one part that I lectured in, and I mean, they even had like nigger head oysters. Like, look at this lunch pad. Look at this lunch box. And like, people be butthurt. When I say don't be butthurt, I brought all this to college, and all them Europeans was all quiet. Just like when I lectured in a religion department, and no disrespect, all my some of the European Jews or the Anglo-Saxons were saying they Ephraim. I say you can't be Ephraim, because Ephraim is Egypt, Misraim. Like, your religion can't replace who the Father is. So I don't be arguing with nobody, and I was always able to have these conversations and these discussions in academia. 10 little nigger boys. Like, these was songs. You know? And I've been telling people, like, a lot of this stuff is going to be obsolete. Black people and so-called niggers. I'm not going to stay until that. I got a whole nother book about the name nigger and the atrocities of the name. I mean, all depicted you in the Jim Crow era. Uncle Tom's Cabin. This is there for the student. And I can go so much. Like this is the Nig Hoover Dam mascot, the nigger dog. That's why I be telling people, I'll be like, listen, who was Simon in the Bible? They know. So if we want to play that game, they can't replace you. They can't whitewash you out the history books. How? And it's not scholarship. Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov show. I show you how, yeah, they tried to whitewash the brothers and sisters out the history books. They tried. They tried. And you know it was always death for the Black Messiah. I can't even show that. I can't show this because I'm still on Facebook. I'll probably get shadow banned. So I'm finna cut Facebook off. So I can. Matter of fact, I'm about to cut Facebook off right now. Cause wait, let me see. No, I ain't. Let me see. What's the next one? Yeah. Cause this book too deep. They won't even. I know. As soon as I show some stuff in this one, but this is not the main topic that I want to speak on. I want to show the other book that I'm about to show. Without Sanctuary. That I tell everybody to get. I have bought so many copies and I distribute them on the college campus. And now when I be live on my other platform, a lot of college students be like, you told everyone. And now everybody expect me to let them get because I converted a lot of them to ebooks and I print and bind them. And now I tell a lot of people, that's what happens. Like we don't take value in nothing but dumb stuff. And when others use this stuff for power, they use it for gathering. All the Gnostic wisdom, all the gathering, all the synchronicity of numbers that show all through text. People don't use this for separation and religion. They use it for power. That's why organization and this Kemetic science connotated as Freemasonry, when it's done the right way, is power. That's why a lot of these Negro Moors that don't understand science and theology and physics and mathematics and growth and development and micromanagement and microeconomics and micro and macroeconomics and don't understand finances and don't really have a clear education on history from all perspectives, you get lost in dogma or Orthodox religion. So with that being said, I'm about to cut off on Facebook because we about to open up this book, Without Sanctuary, that I tried to show people what was in here from history, for people be trying to erase the history, for you don't know history, because that's what they want to try to do when I say, listen, this stuff was going on in the Americas. And a lot of history that they teach wasn't even taught like that from scholarship. And I debunk it on all levels. So join me on my YouTube channel at Kareem Ibn Hakeem Goodman Bey. Peace. All right. So here we go, y'all. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Give me a second. Give me a second. Did y'all see how much that book cost, Without Sanctuary? And I'm gonna have to do this again. Because this is the book Without Sanctuary. And all this stuff, all these books is by Europeans, just like I showed the book America in Black and White. When I said he even did lectures on YouTube. It's nothing new under the sun. You know? They had parties, they celebrated hanging. This is all for educational purposes only. For educational purposes only. If I gotta say that, I'm saying it. But now the book costs thousands of dollars. They got thousands of dollars. And how did these group of Europeans get all these pictures? Because it's recorded. So how's anyone going to be mad over what's being recorded? And then they put the book out, and now the book costs over $1,000. I told y'all they're going to always do this. They're going to always do this in history. They got pictures. They got names of the families. So when we sit up here and be arguing over some stupid religion, or Noah Jarley will do this, or some stupid stuff, brothers, we everywhere. We don't let somebody else draw a line down our back. I don't have time for that little stuff. And if we was great then, we can be great today. Because we don't even have to engage in nobody else's crap. We don't even have to be talking about what happened to somebody else or this, that, and the other. We don't have to engage in that. Over nobody mess, let everybody else figure their crap out. We that say we this should rock in a respective of love and synchronicity, understanding the sciences. Watch, I don't want to narrate the whole book because I'm gonna do a whole lecture on this book. But I just want to show in your head when people talk about something, oh, it's love, it's love, it's love, but you don't have love for your ancestors that tried to just live. And when people tell you to just forget about it, forget about what? How can you forget about it? And it's right here in our face. It ain't no other group of people like this. It ain't no other group of people like this. And then we say just forget about it. Why? The lynching of John D. and Charles Ruggles, July 24th, 1892. This was in California. This was in California. The following lynching on the other page, they said the following lynching circa 1910, they say this location is unknown. Of these brothers getting lynched. So when people be reacting with the cap, wait, they got the pictures right here. They had picnics and everything. You see? Preceding pages, the lynching of George and Ed Silsby, January 20th, 1900, Fort Scott, Kansas. And then the picture and 9, the lynching of Castigo Fiscarrata and Angelo Albani or Albino. If I messed the name up, please forgive me to the family if you watching. Excuse me. This was in September 20th, 1910 in Florida. And then I'm from Florida, from Tampa. I'm going to show you what was all in Ocala. Melanated people had a whole bunch of land. I'm going to show you this stuff. I'm going to show you what happened. This is where people don't understand history. When I say, man, when people say, yeah, this land is indigenous of the Americas. It was a people. And all scholars know it. They what you hear these names of these brothers, George and Ed Silsby, 1900, Fort Scott, Kansas. What was their nationality? The lynching of Castillo Ficarrata and Angelo Albano in Florida in 1910. What do you think their nationality was? That's what I'll be telling people. It's like, listen, man, it's there. They were in postcards. The lynching of Allen Brooks, March 3rd, 1910, Dallas, Texas. A postcard, the front and back. I'm finna show y'all the picture. Here go the postcard, but then I'm gonna show you the picture. Here go the postcard right here. This ain't no long time ago. The lynching of Niece Gillespie, John Gillespie, and Jack Dillingham, August 6, 1906, Salisbury, North Carolina. You want to see the pictures? Here they go. This is what I've been telling. We ain't gonna hate each other and be acting a fool with each other. That's why I said social media is the biggest platform where they allow us to say, man, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry for us to kill each other. Just like I told people when I showed this on Facebook, I was banned for 30 days. But they'll let people get on Facebook and show their booties, show misnomer black people killing each other, acting a fool. But when we show history and educate ourselves and show what's been recorded, oh, it's too graphic or it's not for this. Yes, it is. It's taught. This should be taught in the schools. Lynching circa 1910, location unknown. And this is a big book. 1910, location unknown. Posed at unidentified victim, circa 1900, location unknown. They don't know where this brother at. They just got him hanging. They don't know where this brother at, but we can't talk about it. Oh, well, Jesus is just love, and this, that, man, go on with that. Because I can go even deeper. And we ain't gonna teach our babies about history while we just sit up here playing. The lynching of 4 unidentified African Americans, circa 1900, location unknown. And then on the next page is the lynching of Dick Robertson and a man named Thompson, October 6, 1906, Pritchard Station, Alabama. And then the following pages is the burning of John Lee, August 13th, 1911, Durant, Oklahoma. Here go the, right here. So when people be acting like this, oh, it ain't no history, it ain't Rico. Yes, it is. And then a lot of these people, their kids and stuff is alive. They stole stuff and stole land. And I can show you documents that with Empress Tahira Gaston El Bey, how they gave land back. People act like they don't know what I'm talking about. When I say you on stolen land. The lynching of David Jackson, December 14, 1961. McDuffie County, Georgia. This recorded, this is American history. Why isn't anybody upset? Can nobody be upset? No disrespect. Just like in academia, like me and my professors are Anglo-Saxon potentates. He said, well, the European is only known for whitewashing the history books. And these are professors. These are professors. They say the European ain't ancient. It's like they laugh at the religious people, and I don't care if they misnomer black or white, acting like some Anunnaki is some alien, and we know the Anunnaki is the Iberian. But we always play these stupid games with each other. When it comes to history, they want us to jump to all the stuff, but these are your ancestors. And then when they want to say, well, yes, righteousness and love is for everyone. But what about you and your ancestors? They did postcards of this. The burning of Ted Smith, July 28, 1908, in Greenville, Texas. Burning of the Negro who killed Jim Mitchell, August 1910 in Texas. They go to pictures. And people be like, oh, this too graphic. They know those too graphic. How are they too graphic and they took pictures? It's in books. This is where when I look at my brother and I say, why we got this anger with each other? We doing the job of the claim why? Because we walking around brothers that's Moors or Muslims or this. They walk around like they really want to kill each other over some stupid ass religion. Just like I saw a YouTube and the Asiatic brother, the misnomer black brother, the Christian brother, he was on the street debating Al Islam Muslim, and they were just talking about stupid shit because debates is always stupid as hell to me. And then the Al Islam Muslim, just because he was big, don't you talk about Muhammad, like he want to fight. But they out there having a discussion. That's what I be saying with these religious goofball Negroes. You will lose your life over some stuff you don't even know, and they always come with violence. I say that's stupid. That's stupid. But that's what that energy does. Spectators at the lynching of Jesse Washington, May 16, 1910, Waco, Texas. And then the next picture on the right is the burnt corpse of William Stanley, August 1915, in Temple, Texas. And then it's the postcard, the front and back. They have postcards of this stuff, man. So when people want to act like, oh, we can't show why, and they have postcards, they pass this out to people. It's postcards. But we ain't gonna talk about history. We ain't gonna talk about nothing. We want to talk about some Jesus is love and all that. No, we're gonna talk about history. We're gonna talk about national. We're gonna talk about who we are as a people, and we're gonna get somewhere together. And we're gonna love each other. We're gonna unite from understanding. Three Negroes lynched at Dutch, Minnesota. They say for the rape in 1919, but them brothers ain't raped nobody. The following pages: the lynching of Eliza Clayton, Elmer Jackson, and Isaac McFay, June 15, 1920, in Minnesota. In Minnesota, these is people families. When I remember I was going over this in academia, and people was coming out like they was looking for their family members, and I remember the authors of these books, I remember they was going around asking people because they had people records and family records because, man, people was coming up missing. Yeah. And then they got pictures of all these people around them. Like I said, a picture states a million words. When they say, well, I wasn't there, or my parents would never, my great grandfather would never. Well, your great granddaddy right there, your granddad right there, You talk about your dad would never, and my granddad would never. Yes, he would. Talking about, man. That's why they always try to say with all love, and I don't no disrespect to no one. That's why everyone, when they've done things, they say, well, color don't matter and this stuff don't matter. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It all matters. If it didn't matter, the creator wouldn't have created in the image of those likenesses. So you just can't throw, well, color don't matter, to try to shut someone down. Miss me with that. Because if color didn't matter, well, why was this done to a group of people? Tell me why. If color didn't matter, tell me why was this done? And why was a certain people so afraid of a group of people that you would go through this and go through all this to subjugate a group of people? And then a group of people is supposed to feel good about it and say, we got the same God that these people pray to. I don't have the same God. I don't pray to the same God that a person that's done this. Me and your God ain't the same, because you say your God justify this type of behavior. So if your God justify this type of behavior, shouldn't the same God justify payback? The lynching of Thomas Shipp and Abram Smith, August 7th, 1930, Marion, Indiana. And the lynching of Shipp and Abram Smith, August 7th, 1930. It's a frame photography with victim's hair. Here go a frame, and this is what I'll be telling you. These niggas, ooh, yeah, they kept the evidence with the people's hair. Who you think? They kept the evidence with the brother's hair. Framed it. Just like when I got a book called The Delectable Negro, and they show you how they ate Negroes. These is facts, man. People don't be wanting to talk about, I have the pleasure to lecture this in academia. That's why I'm going back to my fields, because this ain't popular to us. We like Moors, like sovereign citizen, proper goofy gander. They don't like nothing where we can come together and have our own organization like everybody else have and do it the right way, because everybody not wrong. It's only a small tittle that's wrong, and we give them a big platform. And all we got to do is avoid them. It's only a small tittle that's doing wrong in the conscious community, all the so-called pay for your leisure. It's only a small group, and we give them a big magnifying glass. And all we got to do is cut the channel off. It's a wrap. It's that simple. Look at Hangman's Tree by Hella Mont. They even did art depicting of who they was hanging. You know? The lynching of J.L. Compton and Joseph Wilson, April 30th, 1870, Helena, Montana. The lynching of Leo Frank, August 17th, 1915, Marietta, Georgia. See? That when people talk about, well, my uncle and my granddad would never. Yes, they would. Yes, they would. They right there. They right there. The lynching of William Moore, May 20th, 1919, 10 Mile, Mississippi. The lynching of Laura Nelson, May 25th, 1911, Okima, Oklahoma. And then the following page is the lynching of Laura Nelson and her son, May 25th, 1911, in Oklahoma. The following page, I'm going to show you. So we talk about, yeah. Well, they ain't no history and they don't believe. Well, here it is. They hung a mother and her son. Look at all of them up there. They up there celebrating. I don't know no other group of people that did this to nobody in the Americas. When people say, well, just forget about it and it's love. No, and people have blood on their hands. And people, family be having blood on their hands. And the only way why they have something is because they destroyed and killed and pillaged and built on top of people's stuff. The lynching of Joseph Richardson, September 26, 1913, Litchfield, Kentucky. Just like I can show you how they took people's banks. Man, everybody wasn't no slave. People here in America's had land. Land. The lynching of Fred Ingram and James Green. You think they were just lynching people, regular people? Hell no. They were taking, this was a power move. They were lynching bank owners, everything. I showed y'all yesterday who was all in government and how that was whitewashed. I showed you this. I showed you this all through history. And then, yes, as a historian, yes, in history, when you have a group of Jews that was expelled from a certain place, and after they went certain places, yes, a certain people that identify in the continent of Africa of Moors, yes, they had them as indentured service. Just like Negroes do today. Negroes kill each other. My brother was killed by a Negro. So when people say, well, the Moors killed this person, that don't do nothing to me. Okay, my brother was killed by a Negro. My homeboy was killed by his own brother. What we talking about? I know Negroes that'll kill their mama. I know Negroes that'll rat on their mama. I know people that would do harm to their family for some change. So that don't mean nothing to me. Well, the Moors killed this. Negro be killing Negroes every day, B. What we talking about? That's why I say how messed up our mental be. Well, look at the Feds and the Moors. No, Leopold in the Congo, he used the Feds as part of their uniform. You know, Leopold and Africa wasn't named after no European. I destroyed that as well. His abdomen, just like Hitler regiment studied Al-Islam and they wore the Feds. Come on, man, like we not that ignorant of history. I hope not. Just like in the Congo, Patrice Lumumba, they couldn't get him. The Belgium couldn't get him on their own. They had to get some of his people to rock with him, to get him. We know this. So this is no history. I mean, this is no mystery all through history. We can't be that biased and ignorant of history. It's just what it is. Because we have to deal with the type and the individual. You just can't say, well, the Moors are traitors. That's stupid as hell. Well, okay, well, are the Democratic traitors? Are the Republican traitors? What are the teachers traitors? What are we talking about? Are you a traitor? Those things are just too broad to even say. No. Did things happen in history? It need to be explained. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what we showing here in history. The lynching of Frank Embry, July 22nd, 1899, in Missouri. When I lectured this on campus, I had a brother, last name was Embry. Did some history, did some fact checking with his parents. He was like, dang. And it showed they show how they whooped it, but I want to cover parts of it. But on these pictures, you can show how they whipped and beat the man. Pieces of his flesh gone. So we talk about the pain. We talk about Jesus on the cross being whipped, and I get that. Just imagine this happening to you. The lynching of Frank Embry, July 22nd, 1899, Fayette, Missouri. They got pictures. They got pictures. These are, when we talk about real history, when you can trace this, and people can say, this is my family, this is my ancestors. This real. This ain't no mystery. Will James, circa 1907, Cairo, Illinois. Right half, listen to this, right half burned head of James. November 11th, 1909. They burned him. This the right half of his head burnt on this stake, on this picture right here. I'm trying to tell you. So when people be talking stuff, this the brother right here, this is part of his head burnt on the stake. But we can't talk about our ancestors. We jump straight to some other stuff. Aren't you so sad what they did to the Jesus? Yeah, y'all hear you? The lynching of William James, November 11, 1909, in Illinois. Above is the law enforcement agents and bloodhounds. Right, top view of Commercial Avenue. Bottom is the lynching. So here you go, the dog pound per se. Where they family at? Because they did all this lynching. Where all they family at? I bet you they got more. Well, they probably don't have more pictures than me because I know what they have. Because I study at the Royal Archives. And a lot of them are Freemasons and judges today. And they always have to reveal things. All I do is ask with a polite voice. I'm telling you. Just like our prophet said, go to the polite voice and ask them what you would call before the Civil War. That's why I be laughing at our own people. That's why I be laughing, especially brothers that say they Masons. And I say, European Masons don't respect no Prince Hall Mason. They know you don't know nothing. Every European Mason that's a potentate know what I know. And black Masons are the only ones that call themselves call themselves widow sons. These is facts. No disrespect to nobody. William James, November 11th, 1909. The ashes of him. They even got the ashes of him. They burnt the brother to his ashes. They burnt the brother to his ashes. To his ashes. And we don't feel the same way when somebody give us a false image of Borga or some town with some blue eyes. No disrespect. And say, this is Jesus, they did all this. That's a false image of the Messiah. That's a false image of the Messiah. That picture Big Mama got in the house, that's a false image of the Messiah. It just is. And then people say color don't matter. If color didn't matter, why didn't you just tell the truth? Why did you try to subjugate a group of people? Why? The lynching of Garfield Burley and Curtis Brown, October 8th, 1902, in Tennessee, New Bern, Tennessee. In Tennessee, these are your ancestors. This is what we should be shouting for. Because we can go right back to this. Why? Because it ain't been taught in our schools. We got our preachers that look like us that's preaching some slave gospel. Carter G. Woodson said the miseducation of the Negro. I keep telling you the miseducation of the Negro. They wrote scriptures for the Negro slave. I tell us all day using words like Negro, Black, and Color, and African American is not ancient. And the religious man, the Christian, the Muslim, the Mason, they sit up here arguing. Why the powers that be, that's Masons, that know what I'm talking about and know the truth, is laughing. The lynching of Lee Daniels. And people talk about, well, nobody there. Where are all these people at? Where are all these ancestors? If this was you, let's imagine if these was misnomered black people lynching misnomered European people, and all those people there, they would have found everybody family in this picture and be like, oh, that was such and such, such and such, his family is such and such, such, the judge and this. They'll be asking you all type of questions. We should be doing the same thing. We should be doing the same thing. The lynching of Augustus Goodman. You know my last name is Goodman, right? See, this is why when it got personal to me. The lynching of Augustus Goodman, November 4th, 1905, Bainbridge, Georgia. And right, the lynching of Reuben Stacy, July 19th, 1935, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The lynching of Augustus Goodman. I'm a Goodman. So when I heard that when I was lecturing this, when I saw this, like when I was doing my research, I had to stop. My heart, it kind of fluttered. I'm just being honest, because I felt that connection. I felt that spirit, because I'm down with my ancestors. I studied the Orisha. I studied the Santeria. I studied the Oligua. I studied the Moradine. I studied everything to our ancestors as an adapt. I have to. I'm down with all history and all our sciences, and I'm not going to let nobody say what our teachings and what our culture is bad. I'm not going to do it while they take it. And you see, the misnomer European Jews, they take the chicken and swing it, and they get that from our culture. But you would never know. and the lynching of Reuben Stacy, July 19th, 1935, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Look at the little kids in the pictures. Look at the little girls in the picture. These ain't no fake pictures. Look at the little girls in the picture. Right there. You see all those kids, all those youth? You know the women, it's just a regular old day. And ain't no disrespect. People act like we can't talk about nothing. Yes, we can. We ain't no angry dogs, but we come with wisdom. Just like those two European students going to Misnomer Black College campus with their MAGA hats on. Ain't nobody invite them there. They don't have no permit to be there, just to be agitating. But then they know they ain't gonna get killed. They go to a regular college where all them crazy radical Europeans, white dudes, trailer they'll get their head tore off. But they knew they went to a Misnomer Black university because one, they knew they'd be protected, and two, they was agitating. See, this is the truth. Because ain't no brother kill my man, the Charlie Kirk dude. No disrespect to no one. The lynching of James Clark, July 11th, 1926. 1926. This ain't no long time ago where I be telling brothers. These postcards. Listen to this. The charred torso of an African American male, 1902. Charred. That means they burnt him to crisp. These photos, and then I'm going to show y'all the photograph. These was postcards. 4 photographs of the lynching of an unidentified African American male, 1902, Georgia. But look. So can't nobody get mad. They sent this stuff out as postcards. The charred body, head gone, feet gone. Only a people that's evil do something like that. Only a group of people that's evil as hell would do something like that to God's creation. And then us as a people to act like we ain't God's creation. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And when people like me speak and educate us that our ancestors have been trying to do, we should be anointed. We should be uplifted. The lynching of Ernest Harrison, Sam Reed, and Frank Howard, September 11th, 1911, in Wickliffe, Kentucky. Hold on. For something. Some just popped in my mind. Apologies. Okay, some just popped in my head, man, and I just gotta make notes of it. So apologies for that. My mind be doing that sometimes. But it's so much in history, man. Look at this. The lynching of William Brooks, July 27, 1901, in Elkins, West Virginia. It says William Brooks, who was lynched at Elkins, July 22nd, 1901, for the murder of Chief of Police Robert Lilly while attempting to arrest him. That's what they say. I'm telling you, man. The course of Foster Crawford and Elmer Lewis, February 25th, 1893, in Texas. Foster, who participated in killing of Frank Dearsby, late, okay, the cashier, yep. Man. I mean, it's just so much. It is so much lynching and hanging. People say there ain't no pictures. Ain't no pictures of the people that was there. 1915, Southern United States. They there, right there. And he didn't hang himself. And then these people sat there and posed for the picture because they looking right in the camera. Come on. So you had a cameraman there, everything there, to take these pictures of all this. They even got a little boy, John Holmes, November 1933, in California, in San Jose. I don't even want to show that one. I don't even want to show that one. I don't even want to show that one. I'm not even going to show that one. The lynching of Lee Hall, February 7th, 1903, Wrightsville, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And it's so much more. It's so much more, y'all. But I want to just show some things in history for you can get a clear reminder. For you can get a clear understanding. So no one can erase nothing. Because some things, have to be told. Well, not some things, all things must be told the right way. And they tried to destroy the Library of Alexandria. Just like Google took millions of dollars to convert a lot of books to PDF. They're going to destroy a lot of books again. I tell people this. How do I know? Because I'm just connected to certain sources to where when I give certain information, when I recommend students and truth seekers to say, hey, you need this piece of wisdom. When people be hitting me up and say, well, what book should I read, Sheik? I say, it ain't no book you should read. You shouldn't believe no book. What you should do is come to class so you can have the wisdom, so you can be a student, so you can use your compass and your square. And you can start, circumscribing truth and falsehood. You can start dealing with the language. You can start being like a scientist in your laboratory with your test tubes and your beakers, doing the work. And if you're not willing to do the work yourself, you can be a part of a group that's doing the work. And not only doing the work righteously, showing that what we can do with our finances as well and build something. Because having our own library is so prophetic. It's so a must-have. Just like having land. The man that have land is rich. Why? Because we can plant food. Having our own school, having our own temple. All we own is our temples and school. Having buildings that we own and homes that we own under our religious organization is a plus. Because that's the great migration. So we can take care of ourselves. So we can represent ourselves. So when things happen, when a mandated cocoa, you don't have to be mandated, right? Because the religious laws trump. If you come to class, a lot of the private teachings that I'm going to be teaching on Zoom, I'm going to show y'all. Just like a lot of shots and things, if you under the religious laws, you don't have to. Your kids don't have to take that stuff. The religious laws trump this stuff. A lot of stuff kids be getting shots and it mess them up. But that's a whole nother teaching. But the religious rights trump these things. You think the Amish and the Mormon be worried about what some government trying to tell them to do and they know their religious rights? So us as a people, our religious rights trump everything. Understanding our nationality and our spirituality from a historical perspective, not a niggerly, goofy, retarded, a sovereign citizen, Moorish, Orthodox, and that's okay. If that's what you with, that's fine. If you gung-ho, Noble Drew Ali, and you follow that to a T, I get that. But we in a new era. We know we in a new era. We know we in technology because we used to use rotary phones. We evolved. And some people don't want to evolve, and that's fine. But we don't have to just deal with martyrs. We don't. And if you want to do that and just operate on some old stuff and don't move forward and don't deal with things that can produce for a group and a body of people, well then say that. And if you don't have the skill, well then you should be willing to be a part of a body. I tell people, just because a person say they a sheik and you know how to build a house, that don't mean you lead a group of people. I tell people this, and a sheik is a leader and a map and a guide of a small group of men. I mean, we do things. We're able to educate ourselves. We're not here to debate no one. We're not wasting our time making a whole bunch of videos or another group of people. We may speak of specific topics and speak of why we don't do things, but I'm Tasawwuf. I tell everybody, I'm Sufi. I'm not Orthodox. I'm an educator. I've been through all the religious houses. Most of our brothers and sisters grew up in a church. Most of your family grew up in a church, or you were Al-Islam Muslims. Most people didn't grow up in the Moorish Science Temple of America. If a lot of these Moors get on here and tell you they grew up in the Moorish Science Temple of America, well, if that's the case, then their parents had to be part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And then we'll know they telling a fallacy right then. Most brothers on this social media grew up in the Christian church. I grew up studying IDMR, which is the Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research. As I got older in my studies, I did go into church as a minister because that's where my people was at. And I spoke the truth like this. I also went in, I also know Islam Muslims. You know, I also know Masons. And so I also know European Jews. I was able to study and pick up wisdom and have the pleasure to speak with understanding. And that's what I do now. As a map and a guide, as a medicine man, as a shaman, as a tasawwuf, as a Sufi, as a seafood, you know, to make you better at everything that you do. I'm not orthodox. I do things the Moorish way. Nothing outside of myself. If anybody else do 5 salats, that's fine. I do the al-salat. In the biblical scripture, there's so many ways to pray. When people be trying to say, well, this is better than that. And I say, dude, you can't do that, because when I start breaking the language down, your whole Quran come from Jewish text and come from the Nabatean alphabet. And so it's a lot that we need to fact check, because that type of Islam is the same way as Eurocentric Christianity, when everything is white per se. That's why the Sunni Muslim and a lot of the Nation of Islam Muslims, they believe different. That's why a lot of Nation of Islam Muslims, when it comes down to reading the Quran and reading the language, most of them don't. They say they had the teacher, you know, but that's a whole other teaching as well, you know. But I respect it all. I respect all that type of wisdom. I really do. But as a people, our nationality and our spirituality go hand in hand. Our religious understanding, we should be able to come to a medium of understanding. But history, civics, we can't arbitrarily explain that. One more can't have a different understanding or teach something different about science and law and say, well, I just don't believe that. This is not a belief system. You cannot arbitrarily explain law. Law governs all events. We have to be able to rest our case with no rebuttal. And you can't say you don't agree because that's how you feel, and then base your understanding on a lie and lead everybody into a burning house. And this is what's be happening with most people, with these TikTok Moors, with these black fezzes on, talking all this paper terrorist, Roger Elvick stuff. I said, man, these niggas gonna get you locked up. We talking about people that's crazy that got on black fezzes with a Jesus cross on, talking about a whole bunch of court stuff. And I say, what are you going to court to do? I ask every brother on this internet, what are you going to court to get? What are you going to do? Wasting your time. Listen to some jacklegs on the internet. Like you finna get something or somebody owe you something, but they don't have nothing. They tell you that your social security number is attached to these millions, but they don't have no millions. They tell you can do this to court, but they never won nothing in court. Not one thing. It'd be a whole bunch of traffic stuff, them driving out no license or don't want to pay this, or they squatting in houses, nothing with no substance. You know? So that's what I tell my brothers and sisters. We must come together and deal with something higher, use our understanding, understand what our finances is used for, build something, have our library, all that other stuff. These people, some Moorish consulate, and then some consulate president. That's goofy. Like, how can somebody over here in the United States be the president of Morocco and Negroes be arguing and Moors be dealing with that? Or he's the president of Morocco. Who appointed somebody to be the president of Morocco over here? Who? What vote? Or what group of Moors? Based off what? That's why, what army? Like, people be playing a dangerous game with all that paperist terrorist stuff. Bobby Hemmett told y'all, and then a lot of these Moors be upset when I be showing them. I say, man, y'all some paper terrorists. You know this, right? Y'all some Negro European militia group. Y'all some Roger Elvick, some Paradigm Group militia group. That's what I be telling these Negroes who they are. All you got to do is research it. They are some European militia group, sovereign citizen, which is an oxymoron, Roger Elvick criminal groups. That's what they are. That's what all them brothers are with all that paper terrorist stuff. They're domestic terrorists, foreign and abroad, trying to tell you that you need to expatriate for some de facto government. And will your retarded butt do that? Who do you have affiliates with? You a domestic terrorist, foreign and abroad. But you gonna listen to some retardo fardo with missing teeth. That's a junkie. Look at these people jaws with these dirty, dusty fezes to tell you to expatriate for some de facto government, and they finna nationalize you and denationalize you, and that's what these people want. Cause you done seen some bums on the internet with an old ass raggedy Crown Victoria with some stupid ass badge they got made, and a Negro with shotguns. That's what we want. A group of people that's educated want that with children. That's what we want. That's what we promulgating. We can't be that ignorant. We can't be. Brothers and sisters, we cannot be. We're supposed to be a group of intelligent Moors that understand all law, because law governs all events. And then what's so ironic and what's so crazy that these retarded Moors try to use the law to defend themselves that they say they don't even abide by. Like, that is crazy. Or you can go to court and do this, but you say the laws don't abide by you. So how are you going to use the laws to defend yourself? You say you a foreign national. That's what these Negroes say. I'm not American. I'm a foreign national. That's another oxymoron. How you a foreign national? What Negro riding around here in the feds in a car with no license insurance is some stupid ass foreign national? How? You ain't never thought about this? Like, the language these people be saying is just some of the most stupidest language, and they be thinking they so smart. And it's brothers that got TikTok videos. And brothers really like this science. And I say, why would anyone want to do that stuff? Like, what good is that? To have you getting psych evaluated, getting checked out by the psyche, thinking you crazy. To do what? They act like somebody done broke in your house and stole your $100 million cash, and you trying to get it back. Like, what is the fight? What is the going to court for again? Because clearly you lost me. What do these people be going to court for? Because I don't know. They can't even give you a clear reason. Or I went to court to do what? Because just because you went to court for that, damn sure don't mean I should be going to court for that stupid stuff you doing. Filing all, I'm gonna file this and file this and file it. What are you filing stuff for? Paper terrorists. What you're doing is you're getting a paper trail. Dude, let me tell y'all something. Peace be among his soul. Marcel Walden L. He's in the Morse Counseling book. I told y'all, these people, you can't lie on the prophet. Because everything about the prophet is free information. You can go from the CCRD, the county clerk or recorder of deeds, all that stuff. You can see how the prophet set the temple up. You can see what the 1099 is nothing but an affidavit. Ain't no trust fund at the end of the rainbow. But see, when I tell people, a lot of these people have gotten in trouble telling people that they don't have to pay taxes and then filing fake taxes. And not only he got in trouble, but got a lot of people in trouble. But then you get an example made out of you because you're supposed to be the leader of these people, but you lead these people in a burning house knowing what you teaching them is fugazi. And all these people say that they don't pay taxes, they don't do this, or more, we don't pay taxes. And then all these group of people file some fake taxes for like millions of dollars. We researched the case. I got the precedent in law case. I got the doc number. It's all Free Information Act. That's what I'll be telling people. You don't get on here and talk about something you don't have no idea when I can tell you these people got cases. And then they jump right back in it. And then what can you say? These people have went to jail for filing false taxes, and most of their people and a lot of old people played on their unintelligence and had them doing some things, but the court was lenient on those people that didn't know. And they made an example over the sheik, Marcel Walden L, because they're like, brother, you this to your people. Knowing. It's just like I do something like that knowing. Yeah, you should make an example of me. Because I'll tell you, we don't pay taxes and all this. Then I have all the people that's dealing with me and older people file some fake taxes to get some fake taxes back. I should be ashamed of myself. And then we go right on with the rhetoric. People got people messed up with that science, and we go on with the rhetoric. First they was teaching us the Zodiacus about the woman, and then when they figure out how to use this Roger Elvick, this Sorry Citizen, and this Morse counseling stuff, they get all these people as some paper terrorists on paper in the RICO law, because y'all know it's the truth, and get all these people caught up with some fallacy. And had a database on everybody, and then it just poof in the wind. I'm telling y'all, A. And people don't even know it. Oh, I'm gonna get my Morris American ID, my travel ID from somebody that you met on the internet. Really? So you finna give somebody on the internet all your information. Charlotte Mara Bay and all these people. And then this other lady, you finna give them all your information to get some paper that you can, that's meaningless from somebody you met on the internet. Where your documents going? It's going, where it's going? It's to them, but then you look at the ID, it expired. So you got to go back to them again. It's like, this stuff is stupid. Things are not even explained the right way. So you do things prematurely, and then when you get in trouble in the court, you can't say brainwash, because in the court, there's no excuse of not knowing the law in the court of law. You can't go in there and say you didn't know. If you didn't know, then your ass get punished. Why? For not knowing the law in the court of law. We locking your ass up, making an example of you. And most of these sovereign citizen retired Moors get an example made out of them, because they go in there with some pretense that they got off the internet, that they got for some other type of publishing company, or off these videos that people be talking a whole bunch of stupid stuff. Like they some consulate general of Morocco, and you will tell your whole case. And I tell people, don't you know you got the right to remain silent? Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Nothing that you say to the police is nothing going to help you with your case. You shouldn't even talk. Let your so-called lawyer talk. And I ain't got nothing to say if I ain't getting immunity, but that's what people do. They just run off at the mouth. And I say, oh, you snitched, because these Negroes think they so smart. That's the thing with a dunce hat on. They think they smart. They think they so smart that they'll start rumbling up at the mouth everything, because they scared. And that's what happens to all of them. And most of them get court-appointed attorneys. And that's what happened to the rise of the Moors. How? Because they got their ass on the internet with these so-called Moors consulate in some basement and told everything. Vincent told everything. That's why I be telling people, like, you can't be mad at me. I got everything documented. He told everything what happened. He said that he was a truck driver making $250,000 a year. Everybody like, well, why would you deal with some people that's bums and this, that, and the other with no plan? Like, what was y'all doing? This is public information. That's why I tell people, when you look at documents, court records, precedent law cases, doc number, Free Information Act, you will see stuff was premeditated. You will see there was two agents. That's why I be laughing at people. I be like, dude, like, this stuff is not hard. None of this stuff is hard. Because if you're doing things, it's a way to do things. It's a way to get proper permits. It's a way to travel with weapons. It's always checks and balances. All this stuff. Everybody know this. I know this. You know this. So we don't have to sit up here and play no devil's advocate like we unintelligent people. What I'm telling you is, people was premeditated on, and the unintelligent people got played on their emotion. A group of unintelligent people dealing with people that sent them into a burning house. And if you look the track record, and if you looked at the background of these individuals, you will see the craziness of what they promulgate. You will see the history that they had. You will see brothers that they was dealing with. Some of them ran to China, that they was making some damn plates. All this stuff, you'll be like, damn, Sheik, I didn't know. And I say, it's there. And that's why a lot of them ran to China. Some of them be popping back up in the city of Atlanta, getting people squatting in houses, getting dragged out in their hair. A lady hit me up in Texas, showed me the whole video. I sent it to my muftis. It was like, this is what's happening. People losing their homes, listening to these people. Especially in Florida. I tell people, dude, squatters have no rights in Florida. Don't get none off the internet, and then you go back home and take this and lose everything. Listen to some goofball. Don't talk about your last name is some slave name, and your last name is your coat of arms or your family crest. And you annex your LMA because you listen to some jackleg on the internet that got you caught up, because everything in emotion. You correcting a mistake. You're not changing nothing. There ain't no status changing. Ain't none of that. What is there? What is there you need to change? The work is done. You can annex your L or Bay, a.k.a. your suffix, if you know how to talk, if you know how to have conversation, and if you know how we say in tennis, when you valley, you say, hey, I'm just correcting a mistake. My mama didn't know, but she know now, blah, blah, blah. I'm just, having a conversation, but you're not changing nothing. You correcting a mistake. You have the right to annex your L or your Bay. The house during Revolution 75. This is what I'll be telling my brothers and sisters, but we be lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn Hosea 4 and 6. Knowledge of self. We be caught up in the wrong thing. When I say it need to be taught the right way, the Declaration of Human Rights clearly say that you have a right of a nationality and a right to change it, and to claim a child replaces the birth certificate, and no one will be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and a right to change it. That should stick out like sword nails to you. What you mean, Sheik? I got a right of a nationality and a right to change it. That means you shouldn't be discussing or talking about what nobody else talking about. No $5 Indians. You should be having a discussion of you. Just like if you was courting a woman, I'm not talking about no another guy. I'm talking about me, who I am. And that's our mission. And we have every right to do that. The Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, clearly says it. The religious rights of the indigenous people. You know? Even so many declarations and treaties that the misnomer black man wrote in Constitution to say we ain't no 14th Amendment Negroes. And so that's what I try to show with my brothers and sisters when we dealing with law. You know, I understand some people may have done some things to people, but then as moving forward, we have to agree. Now, is it one nationalities, many cultures? Absolutely. Is it a group of Moors out here operating crazy?
Hey, you still talking?
Yes, I'm almost done, babe. It is a group of people that's acting crazy, but that's almost like saying all misnomer black men crazy or all misnomer white men are racist. So I just want everybody to relax, man, and learn, come to class, share the teachings, and just have some peace and some pride about yourself. You know, and we have to stop arguing with each other on religion and all this stuff. Like even Moors, I'm so tired of Moors older. It's older Moors steady talking about other Moors. It's like, or they whole program is about some old stuff about what some other man is doing, Tariq Nasheed. Because I'm just talking about what people send to me and debating with the Muslims and all this. Like, it ain't nothing to debate. It's nothing to debate. If you talk to a Christian, they're going to give you their Christian perspective. If you talk to a Muslim, they're going to give you their Al-Islam perspective. If you talk to a Nation of Islam Muslim, they're going to give you their perspective. If you talk to a pro-black person, they're going to give you their perspective. But that's their perspective. Is it correct? If it's dogma, no. But it's only one history. It's only one law. And law governs all events. And with that being said, I want to say thank y'all. Support your brother, man. Because we get ready to have our brick and mortar. We're going to offer everything. Join some of my private lessons because most of my teaching is going to be private on Zoom. So after this teaching is over, it will be deleted. A snippet might be on. And that's how we doing going forward. I hope people subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube page. Check us out. Hit us up. Become a student or a member. For you can join the private teachings, man. Because it's a lot more to learn. Because we build it and we not just a church of people coming together. We are a school as well. And we got to get back in that and stop giving things to other people. We are a church and a school. We have to understand that the church is just the meeting of people. This is our culture. The church is just the meeting of the people. We have school. This is what we're supposed to be able to teach our infrastructure, and we use the internet to spread it as we get our brick and mortar right in the neighborhoods that it need to be in. So brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, we need y'all to be students, to join us privately on Zoom. Join us privately, and please subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube channel at Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School for Friday book club, Saturday adapt class, and Sunday Sunday school. But after all the teachings, all the messages will be deleted into our database, and only students and members will be able to watch those clips on our webpage. So once again, man, I love y'all, and thank you for taking time out y'all day. Peace, light, and illumination. Chandra!